And the possibility of another U.S. military strike. Let's go to our senior White House correspondent, Jeff Zeleny. Jeff, you heard the press secretary, Sean Spicer. He was creating some confusion about the president's so-called red line.
He was indeed, Wolf. At that White House press briefing today, Sean Spicer was talking in very specific terms about what it would take for the U.S. to retaliate and strike again in Syria. This is what Sean Spicer said, and then I'll explain what he said after this.
If you gas a baby, if you put a barrel bomb in to innocent people, I think you will see a response from this president. That is unacceptable.
So by saying that, he said if you gas a baby or put a barrel bomb in, but then a short time after that, the administration was very worried about drawing a new red line there, that it's something that would sort of box this administration into a corner, if you will, here. So an administration official said Sean Spicer misspoke about this, that he's not changing policy at all, that barrel bombs would not constitute any type of action. They're still focusing on those chemical attacks, or Wolf. But this is all sort of a larger way of saying that this administration is still figuring out what its red line is and what its policy is, because they know, of course, the Obama administration was backed into a corner, boxed in, if you will, about this red line here. But tonight they're saying that barrel bombs alone simply would not cause the U.S. to act again, Wolf.
Yeah, the Syrian regime, they've been dropping those barrel bombs for years, a lot of them. On another issue, Jeff, the White House is now trying to downplay all these reports of a serious feud between top advisor Steve Bannon and Jared Kushner. What's the latest?
Well, if they are indeed, and this is something that has been sort of plaguing this administration for the last 11 weeks or so, this infighting inside the West Wing. And on the Syria policy, it also became an issue as well, with Chief Strategist Steve Bannon arguing against the strikes last week, other advisors arguing for it. But this all came to a head last week, we are told, when the president himself directly said, work it out here. So today at the press briefing, we asked Sean Spicer about that comment. Let's watch.
It must have crossed a line if he said to work it out.
Well, I think sometimes, again, I'm not going to get into what happens internally, but I think sometimes might spill out into public more than other things. But there's always going to be a healthy debate internally on a variety of policy issues among the cabinet, among the staff, to make sure that the president sees every option that's available.
He's sticking with Steve Bannon.
He is very confident in the team that he has, that they have an unbelievable amount of knowledge, and he enjoys the counsel that they all bring to this table.
So it appears this evening, Wolf, that all this infighting is at least on hold for now at the moment. We'll see how long that lasts, of course, here, but the president is trying to get back on track. They're very focused on the first 100 days. We heard the president himself talk about that in the Rose Garden this morning. The White House is as well. His staff and advisors are. So they're trying to at least eliminate some of this infighting. In the short term, it looks like that Steve Bannon will stay. He has the confidence of the president. Jared Kushner, of course, the senior advisor and son-in-law, he does as well here, Wolf. But, there are significant ideological differences here and policy differences as well. But for now, at least, we're told that they've mended those fences and have agreed to work on behalf and for the good of this president. We'll see how long this détente actually lasts.
Yeah, a good point. Thanks very much, Jeff Zeleny, reporting from the White House. Let's talk more about the president's Syria policy. Republican Congressman Will Hurd